how you doing? Welcome back once again to the channel and to leg 10 of the DTG Ambassadors trip between Penzance and Inverness. Yeah, this is leg 10. This is going between Stafford and Preston on the West Coast Mainline Missing Link, and we'll talk about that as we go. But we are on a rail tour for this one to make it a little bit more interesting. So you might recognise the Class 86, which is coming soon actually to TSW. We've only got the 87 at the moment in TSW, but the 86 is coming, of course. And yeah, this is a special one because this is the Cumbrian Mountain Express, which is set in 2021, and it looks nice in this blue livery, doesn't it? I have to admit. This is 86259, which is Les Ross. It's also got the old numbering on the back there. We've got the West Coast Railways coaches on the back. Obviously, West Coast Railways based out of Cornforth, which is just north of Lancaster. Again, anyone who's been playing the West Coast Main Line in TSW, Preston to Carlisle, will be familiar with with Cornforth, I'm sorry. And what is this guy doing? You can make yourself look bigger, mate, but it's not going to work. I don't know what he's doing. Let's not ask. Yeah, we're at Stafford. We're going up to Preston, a place that obviously I know quite well. Now, we're going to be slightly behind time when we set off because this scenario, I think it's a 4-part scenario. It's available, by the way, on Alan Thompson's sim if you're a TS Classic player. It actually has a rolling start into Stafford, so I've had to off camera come into, or off stream, not off camera, I've had to come into Stafford and then stop us where we left off in the 325 in the previous leg. So just talking about the journey again before we set off. Hopefully at this point you are following the playlist and you've been with us between us all from Penzance up to this point. If you haven't, there is a link to the playlist down in the description with all the different legs of the journey. Between us as ambassadors, we're going all the way from Penzance up to Inverness, across various routes in TSW and TS Classic. So let me not talk anymore. Let me get it off pause. You can hear the wonderful sounds of the Class 86, and we're going to make our way up to Preston, stopping at Crewe on this one on the way. So right, let's get the hood back on. I'll get in there. And I'll just press that. We're already in forwards. Let's just go to hold. We don't need that. I think everything else is okay. I'm not going to put the vigilance on for now because we're going to be going in and out of the cab, so you can have a good look round at the 86 and the rail tour itself. It's a very good rail tour actually, starting at London Euston. I've completed all of it over time, but I thought this would be a good one for us to do as part of this. So shall we make our way to Crewe, which is the first stop, 24 miles. We'll get the brakes off and hopefully we're ready to go. So if I can remember how to drive the 86 in TS Classic, there we go. Let's put a few notches in just as we leave. Perfect. And what a glorious day for a trip up to Preston. There we go. So in the previous video, if you were with me, we came up from Lichfield Trent Valley to Stafford on the West Coast Main Line Trent Valley route, which ends at Stafford. So we've picked up now with the missing link between Stafford and Preston. You won't find the missing link on Steam. It's not a route you can get on Steam. So you will need to be a subscriber at Alan Thompson Sim. So go over to Alan Thompson Sim if you want this. You just need to be a subscriber. All the details are on there. If you just search for missing link, you'll find it there. But thank you to Alan Thompson and his team for doing this. This does provide a section of the West Coast Main Line which is missing from Steam, hence the term missing link. This was one of the first things that I went and downloaded as soon as I got into TS Classic. and got a membership at Alan Thompson Sim. Because obviously it includes... I just blown something. The power's just gone. There wasn't a neutral section there, was there? Have I just missed a neutral section? Right, you know, let's recover, shall we, from this? Right, let's just take the... We'll just wait for the power to come down here. I'll just run it down and we'll start again. There's me planning to thunder up to 100, which is our maximum speed, out of here, and we can't. So, right, okay, now let's do it again. Let's go to hold, and let's add power. Right. Pantograph first. You can hear it now. Right, let's now add some power. There we go. As the power comes up. So, I must have overdone it on the power there. I tell you, it's a tricky thing to drive. It is a tricky thing to drive. And the controls are slightly different as well for TS Classic than they are in TSW for the 87. Which is a very, very similar loco, as you will appreciate. But I'll just keep my eye on the amps so that I don't overdo it. And we will get underway. And we will make our way to Crewe. Do you know, I've run this so many times and not had an issue. Is it always the way? It's just the way, isn't it? This is like live TV. It's not live, but it's live right now. Something's always going to go wrong. But I'm being brave and I'm just providing a little bit of variety. I could have took the Pendolino up to Preston. Now that would have been an easy one. And to be fair, you would have seen some of the decent curves a little bit better of this line between Stafford and Preston. But I thought we'd go classical and we'd go in the 86. Because who doesn't like an 86 or an 87? Hands up. Bet there's nobody. Right. Let's make sure we don't blow the thing once again. I don't know, honestly, if I went over a neutral section, if that was the issue. I'll go back and have a look afterwards. But anyway, we're underway now. You can hear the engines coming up. Hopefully the sound is good. You can hear me okay over the top. Unlike the 325 in the previous leg. This one is a noisy beast. Once again, this is the AP enhanced version of the 86. So it adds the usual bells and whistles and yeah. Let's take a look, shall we? Oh, I love this blue and white livery. That's awesome. Right. We can increase the power, so I'm just going to run it up. And our top speed, as mentioned, is 100, as you can see up here at the top. And we'll do our best to cruise up or around that as best we can throughout. So we're due in at Crewe 9:46 and the booked time is 9:36. So yeah, we were behind time by a few minutes and then we lost power, which added another minute to it at least. But as I said in the previous leg, it's all about just completing the journey between us rather than how we do it. It's about covering the track between Penzance and Inverness. So I'll keep bringing the speed up. I'm quite looking forward to the 86 also coming to TSW. At the time of recording this, I'm going to assume that's pretty near. Well, it's not in the 0 to 3 months from the roadmap, but hopefully it's not much longer after that. So I'm going to run you up to Preston as part of this. And just looking at the legs that we've got to do as part of this one, we've got 25 miles between Stafford and Crewe. Stafford and Crewe. Yeah, Stafford and Crewe. Yeah, Stafford and Crewe is 25 miles. Once we leave Crewe, up to Preston is 51 miles. So this journey is 76 miles in total. So this is a decent stretch of the main line. And in the next video in the playlist, I'll be handing over to Train Simulator Driver. He's going to be taking you in TSW between Preston and Carlisle. And then I'll be back in TS Classic between Carlisle and Glasgow Central. All the links will be in the description of this video below. So hopefully you will all follow the playlist right from British Ace down in Penzance right at the beginning, and you follow us all the way through, because it's going to be some epic journey, this. Thanks once again to British Ace for mapping out the route that we are taking and sorting out which DLC covers which portion of the trip. Right, we'll just leave that in hold for now. We've still got 20 miles to Crewe. Crewe, of course, is where DTG Alex likes to knock about. And I'm also going to say it very quietly, because we will be passing through Wigan. Which means if DTG Harry is watching, she might not be able to contain herself, but we'll whisper about Wigan as we pass through Wigan. I don't want to get her too excited. She keeps saying she wants Wigan in TSW. We'll have to wait and see if that's ever a thing. But it is in TS Classic, so we will be passing through there after Warrington. We're not stopping there. We'll be straight from Crewe to Preston. Next stop will be Preston after Crewe. So I have got a video on the channel, which I did, I think, August of 2024. And in that video, it's several hours long. I went all the way from London Euston to Glasgow in the Pendolino. The whole of the West Coast Main Line I did as part of that. And a lot of people have said to me, I can't find this route. How the heck have you done that? Well, obviously the trick is that I filmed each different leg of it across the various DLCs, kind of like what we're doing now. And with a little bit of canny editing between each section, I managed to stick them together so it looked like a whole journey. I did say in the description that it was kind of pieced together, but if some of you couldn't tell, that's fine. But I do get a lot of comments on that. So if you want to see the whole journey just of the West Coast Main Line in one go, just go back onto the channel, just have a look around August of 2024. I go all the way in the Pendolino. And just recently, I also went the whole route on the East Coast Main Line as well, in the Azuma. We went from Edinburgh Waverley all the way down to King's Cross, and we did that as 2 separate live streams on consecutive nights. So again, if you're interested in the East Coast Main Line and you want to see the full run of that in the Azuma, go and have a look at those 2 videos as well. You'll find those interesting. I like longer runs. Longer runs are my thing. So anything up the main lines is perfect. We've done the Great Eastern Main Line in TS Classic as well, which is another favourite of mine. Quite enjoy that. It's all on the channel, so feel free, if you're a new viewer, feel free to go and have a look at those. There's probably plenty on there that you'll quite enjoy. And more importantly, we all say it, please do subscribe to me. That would be perfect. I would be very appreciative of that. Right. I'm going to go and get a flyby. We're at 86 miles per hour. So, look at these trees, by the way. They must be developed for this route, because I haven't seen them anywhere else. Right, let's go over here, shall we? And we'll wait for the 86 to come blasting through. Here he comes. Perfect. Perfect. $14 to go. So I'm going to find some information. I'm just going to look now about the missing link and what that's all about, so you know. So I'll just read the blurb. So it's been done in 4 phases. So the first phase was Stafford to Liverpool Lime Street, because you can go all the way to Liverpool Lime Street as well, which is obviously really nice. And it's very detailed, as you can see from what you see in front of you right now. It's a very detailed route. Then phase 2 was Sandwell and Dudley to Wigan North Western. Phase 3 was Birmingham New Street to Preston. And then phase 4, which is the most recent phase, was the Stoke Loop, which is Stafford to Crewe via Stoke-on-Trent. So, have I just gone over another neutral section when I'm reading this? That's awful. Right, now I can recover without stopping here. If I just run it down. I'll go back to what I was saying in a minute. There's a lot to do when you're driving this train, as you're probably well aware. So I need to just run down. I'm just looking here for it to run down. And then I should be able to power back up again. Once it's completely run down. Without losing too much speed. So let's do that. There we go. So the speed's back on again. The power's back on, I should say. So you can recover if you miss a neutral section. It's not ideal. I was meant to keep my eyes on it, but I was reading the blurb about the missing link, because I think that's important. So let me just bring up the power. I don't want to make us any more later than we already are. Right, I'll just put it in hold for now while I go back to the blurb. So yeah, the Stoke Loop, you can go off to Crewe, up the loop, which is quite interesting. So we're going up the main line, but you can go up the loop as well. So included is the 14-mile route from Rugeley Trent Valley, which is great, really. This is a big piece of work that's been done. Now there is another phase as well, which is phase 5, which is the West Coast Main Line South merge. So that will add the West Coast Main Line South to this without having to run it as a separate route. So phase 1 came out in August 2019, so it's been going on for a long time. But you can get this from Alan Thompson Sim, as I mentioned, and it comes with quite a few scenarios. There's some payware stuff you need for those scenarios, but yeah, massive thanks to them for that job that they've done on that. And as I said, that's the only place you'll find it. You won't find it on Steam, but it's kind of, in my eyes, if you're a fan of the West Coast Main Line, it's kind of essential, really. Right, Crewe in 8.8 miles. Take a little bit of a look outside. So just running back through what's been done so far on this whole journey. We've had Penzance to Plymouth, British Ace. Plymouth to Exeter, British Ace. And then Exeter to Reading, that was British Ace. So you can go to our individual channels for this, or you can click on the playlist. We've got a shared playlist, and all the videos are going to be on that in order. Then we went Reading to London Paddington, that was Megasim. Then Paddington to Harrow and Wealdstone, that's Neil TV 8. Then Richie Rail went Harrow and Wealdstone to Milton Keynes. He also went Milton Keynes to Birmingham New Street, and he also went New Street to Lichfield Trent Valley, and that's where I took over in leg 9, and I did Lichfield Trent Valley to Stafford, and then we found ourselves on this current one, which is leg 10, Stafford to Preston. So then we've got the West Coast Mainline over Shap, after that Preston to Carlisle, that's Train Simulator Driver. Then I'm back again for Carlisle to Glasgow. Then we've got Neil TV8, he's going to be doing a run round the Cathcart Circle in TSW while we're up there in Glasgow. Then we've got the Glasgow Subway, St Enoch to Buchanan Street. So at the moment, nobody's assigned to do that one. Somebody will be picking that up. Then we got the Suburban Glasgow Northwest, which is Queen Street High Level to Helensburgh Upper. And again, British Ace is going to do that one. Then we go into the Highlands with West Highland Line South, which is Helensburgh Upper to Fort William. Train Simulator Driver will be picking that one up. He'll also be doing the West Highland Line Extension, Fort William to Malay. Lovely scenery up there. Make sure you watch those ones as well. And then finally, leg 17 is the Kyle line, Kyle of Lacouche to Inverness. And again, that's currently unassigned, but somebody will pick that up, I'm sure. So, big journey. Not sure what the total mileage is end to end from Penzance to Inverness, but it's a decent run. It's a decent run. And even I'm going to enjoy watching it end to end. So it's quite nice to be involved in a little project like that, I'll be honest. So make sure you watch them all. Right, we got 3.8 miles until Crewe. So I'm going to run down a little bit, not completely. But we should start slowing down. In fact, as we're going downhill, you know what? Let's run it down, and then we'll start using some brake because we've only got 2.5 miles to go, and some speed reductions as we come into Crewe. This is Basford Hall Junction, down fast. In fact, we got an 80, quickly going down to a 20. Just before the station, so make sure we do get the speed down. There we go. The 37 that I can spy right there, which is quite nice to see. There's some 350s over there in the sheds. Coreless rail 37s with the engineering train. Very nice. Right, so I've not braked enough coming in. We're going to be hot at this 20 board. Yeah, straight over the junction. Oh, dear me. That's fast. Hold on to your hats, everybody. Take the brakes off right now. As we come into Crewe, platform 11. I'm going to put a little bit of power in, because it's funny with these older locos. The braking is you can put too much brake in, or you can put too little. If you put too much brake in, it takes a while for the brakes then to come off again. So I was planning to coast then, after having the brakes on like that. I was planning to coast into the platform, but there just wasn't enough left in it to be able to do that. So it's fine. So we'll pull up to the signal. We'll get everybody on board or off. There's not many for a rail tour. That's a shame, isn't it, that the level of passengers doesn't increase when there's a rail tour or something like that. That'd be quite nice to see. Because you just know it's going to be packed, even with people that are not actually going to travel with us. People will come out to have a look at the 86. Take a few photographs, etc, etc. So we've got a green at the moment. So if we can get everybody on board, we can depart pretty quickly. Let's just go outside, shall we? There we go. Don't actually know if there's anything else in. We got a Pendo. Is he going out before us? That's probably a good thing, isn't it? He's probably faster than us. Plus, we're running a bit late. So we'll let him go. But has he got a red? I don't know if he's departing or he's just coming in and he's going to stay at that red. We'll soon find out. There we go. We got the whistle. So we'll get the brakes off. There we go. And we'll start getting out of here, I think. 51, just short of 51. I over accelerated. So there you go. That's what I did. That's what I did at the beginning of coming out of Stafford. So instead of notching up, I was too eager and went into run up. So what I need to do is just put that to off. Do that. Pantograph. Then what I should do out of here for the initial acceleration is just a few single taps just to get us moving. This Pendo driver is going to be like, what are you letting him out for? He's useless. Don't put him in front of me. What are you doing? Stop it right now. So we got 20 miles per hour anyway out of Crewe. So let's just keep the taps there where they are. Just keep an eye on it so we don't accelerate over 20. But here we go. We've got the old on the right and the new on the left with the Pendolino. Slightly choppy here. Let's just put the frame rate on 14 frames per second. There's a lot going on around Crewe, of course. Now what we can also do is go and see our friend here, another bit of classic traction. The APT is here at the Crewe Heritage Centre. It looks in better nick here, I've got to tell you, than it does when you come past it. It needs a repaint in real life, I'm afraid to say. I must go back and have a look at the APT. It's years since I've been to the Heritage Centre. But it's a great day out. If any of you can get to the Heritage Centre, it is a great day out. They've not just got the APT, they've got all sorts in there. Last time I was on my way down to Euston, I saw there was an HST sat there in the yard. Now, I've never seen an HST. Well, I have. I've seen the Pullman, which is an HST, isn't it? But the one they've got there is in the Intercity blue and yellow livery, which is quite nice. So I'd like to go and have a look at that, I must admit. Right. I'm going to power up a little bit. I just saw the warning board for the upcoming neutral section, so I'm going to get a little bit of power in. And then I'm going to run down this time as we go over the neutral section. You can tell, unlike Preston to Carlisle, I'm not familiar here with where the neutral sections are, so that's why, you know, I don't think I've even hit one of them yet, have I? I'm not sure. But not to worry, I'm going to run it down already, because I think it's just coming up now, after this foot crossing to the signal box. So, I'm going to put it in off. And I think it's just coming up now, just after this junction. I hope it is, or we're going to come to a stop right in the middle of the neutral section, which wouldn't be good, would it? I can see the markers on the floor now. See the there's the sign. So let's get across, and then we'll get back up to speed for Preston, shall we? So the power will drop off as we go over it. There it goes. We're dead in the water. 12 miles an hour to get over this side. Come on. Come on. Oh dear. Come on, power. Come back on. There we go. Right, we're all good. Don't worry, everybody. So, I'm going to notch up. Let's get us moving again. I think if I'd have been not looking at the APT, we could have done that a little bit better. But look, I want to show you what there is on this route. Then we're not just doing the driving. I bet that Pendo is going to come past us any time, because he's not going to wait for me doing this all day. You can hear us accelerating up now. Let's run it up a little bit. Let's keep my eye on the amps. Then we don't blow it once again. We're due at 10:21. Currently, it's going to be 10:26. So if we can stay like that, we're not going to be that much late in the end. Which isn't bad, is it, really? We'll have made up some time there, I think. But we'll see what we can do. Keep running it up. There we go. That's good. Right, 49 miles to Preston. There he's coming now behind us at a rate of knots. I can see him. So we'll just wait in this view. And I'll take some notches off because otherwise we're going to accelerate over that 75 miles per hour. Here he comes. He's just showing off now. It's because he's faster than me. Now, I'll have to keep an eye on the signals because I'm not sure whether he will stay where he is or switch in front of us further up. He'll be at Preston long before we are, I expect. Yeah, I mentioned those trees earlier. I don't recall. They must be specific to this missing link route. They must be custom made for this. I don't recall seeing those anywhere. I'm not running any kind of tree pack or anything like that. I don't think so. Right, let's just check ahead. We're on a green, so we're good. Just come down a couple of notches as we reach the 75. Once the 87 or the 86 is up to speed, it's a really nice train to drive. Well, it is anyway. I don't know what I'm saying there. It is a nice train to drive. It's a challenge. It's definitely a challenge at the beginning. One of the most popular videos I've had in recent times was how to drive the 87 in TSW, which is also available on the channel, where I talk about the notching up, etc., and the notching down, and the run up, run down, just to supplement the tutorial that was in the game. And that's been a very popular video because it is a challenge. It's a nice feeling though when you drive it and you can do it correctly. You know, you might not think I'm doing it correctly. I know what I'm doing, I'm just not keeping my eyes open. That's the thing. I'm going to run down here because as suspected we should probably go a little bit slower because he may be in front of us now. This will be a single yellow. Perhaps. This has really got ahead of us, this double. And the green, so let's get the brakes off. And we can start running the power up again. I had a feeling that might happen. He was a bit faster than us. So we've got 44 miles to go. But I gotta say, I'm thoroughly enjoying this. I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna watch the whole trip as well from Penzance over several sessions. I think that's gonna be a really good trip. And what it will also do is, hopefully, you know, for a few of you know, that have got TS Classic and have got TSW, it'll, you know, when you sit and watch it, you'll think, oh, I'm gonna go and run that route now. I didn't realise you could do that. Or that's what I get when I'm watching a lot of stuff on YouTube, and I go, oh right, okay, I'm gonna go and get that scenario. I'm gonna run it. Looks great. If you are just a TSW player, by the way, and you're not a regular on my channel, if you on the West Coast Mainline, you like your mainline runs, I've created a couple of scenarios in TSW and the Creators Club for going one between Preston and Carlisle, all stops, and one Carlisle back to Preston, all stops, using the Pendolino. So if you fancy running the Pendolino, you've got West Coast Mainline South and the Pendolino, you'll need that to be able to run it. But if you've got the West Coast Mainline Preston to Carlisle in TSW and you want to do a mainline run in something a bit more modern, go and have a look on the Creators Club. If you just search Tintin, then it will come up. The list of things that I've put up will come up. I've not done many scenarios, but there's a few on there. So go and check them out. I think you'll quite enjoy those. I created those because, as I said earlier, I like my longer mainline runs, and it was nice in TSW to run the Pendolino up there without having to worry about the neutral sections, and you know, you can enjoy the route a little bit more without having to concentrate too much on the actual driving controls themselves, if that makes sense. So go and try those out if you like that sort of thing. They're also covered in videos, by the way, on the channel, so if you want to have a look at them first, there's a video for each you'll find on the feed. And the mileage is rapidly going down. We got about 41, just under 41 and a half to go. We're due in right now as it stands in 24 minutes, so hopefully nothing's going to hold us up. And yeah, all going good. Now in this AP one, can you open the windows? I don't think you can open the windows. I think the windows are kind of back here. These ones don't open, but it's noisy enough, isn't it? I think you'll agree. It'd be a cracking rail tour this if you're doing the whole rail tour. I don't know how much it would cost you to come all the way from Euston, but what a cracking rail tour. Let's just check what this station is. Oh, it's Hertford. Because I travel up and down here quite a bit on the Pendolino for work, and obviously there's some stations like that you don't stop at with the Pendolino. You fly through them, but you don't ever stop there. You're only stopping at the principal stations. $37 to go. We should probably take another flyby shot, I think. Perfect, a platform. This'll do us. Acton Bridge. And that's why you should always stand back from the platform edge, because that guy's motoring straight through. You would not want to get whipped up into that. Let's face it. $35 to go. We're not that far away actually from Warrington. And as we approach Warrington, you can see a big container ship. Which we'll take a quick look at. Nice little bit of scenery they've put in on the ship canal, Manchester Ship Canal I believe it is. Oh, there's another neutral section, look. I missed it again. Oh, don't ever come to me to learn neutral sections, whatever you do. So, let's get the power all the way down once again. And then we should be able to accelerate back up. Right, the power's all the way down, so there we go. We can accelerate again. So it's not too bad, you don't need to come to a complete stop, so at least that's one thing. $31. We've actually made good time since Crewe. And more we're getting north. We're getting up there. Don't exactly know where the halfway point is. It'd be interesting to try to find out where the halfway point is. We may be past it, being as we started in Penzance. It's quite a way, Penzance, so... Maybe after this we can get that worked out and give that information. I don't know right now though. I don't know what the mileages are. It'll be interesting to know. Right, so this is the bridge that goes over the ship canal. So we should be able to take a quick look out at the ship that I was telling you about. If I go into this view, have a look down there. There you go. That's great, that. And Warrington is coming up. You can see it down on the minimap. Warrington Bank Quay. We're going through platform 3. So we're going down a hill, which is going to make us speed a little bit. So we'll run that down. Drag the brake slightly. There we go. This is Warrington Bank Quay. Shout out to Bournes and the other regulars that are living in Warrington. Right, we'll be going through Wigan next. A little bit of a pause there in the sim, probably why it's loading the next bit. So over on the right there, we've got the Royal Mail terminal. So there are some services that use the 325, which originate there in that terminal. And we got a yellow coming up. Is that our yellow ahead? Looks like it could be. So we'll just maintain the speed for now. Might actually not be our red. Our yellow. I can't actually tell. I think it's on the other side, isn't it? Yeah, this is ours. Ours is the green. So let's bring the power up. Right, we have got 24 to go. Due in now at 10:28, looks like. One thing I do need to get for TS Classic actually is the AP 87 pack. That's not an enhancement pack, that's an actual complete redesign. It's a loco pack rather than an enhancement. I've only got the standard 87 at the moment. Right, let's add a little bit more power because we've got a 90 coming up. So we don't want to go higher than 90. We can go to 100, but it's not that fast to accelerate, as you can see. Right, I've missed another neutral section. You guys didn't tell me about the sign. Where was the sign? I completely missed it. Oh, dear me. I think I've not hit one yet. No, I hit the one coming out of Crewe Station. I think that's the only one that I've managed to successfully get through with the proper procedure. Deary me. Right. Shall we try again? I should have had a practice first. I should have noted down where they are. It's fine as long as we don't stop. We'll get there. We've only got 20 miles. I'm not going to change it now after coming all this way. Right, accelerating back up. On this final leg of this section of the route that we're doing today. So at Preston, I will be handing over to Train Simulator Driver for his section. And he'll take you up to Carlisle. And then I'll be back. And we're going to be driving something different again from Carlisle up to Glasgow. But I'm not going to tell you what that is. You'll have to come back for the video. I don't want to spoil it. But it will be something where we don't have to bother about neutral sections. We can just get to Glasgow in that one. So it's all good. Right, just over 18 miles to go. And we're not that far from Wigan now. We should see Springs Branch Depot any time over on the right hand side. And we're going through Wigan North Western. You can actually get a freeway route for TS Classic which uses Wigan Walgate. It actually runs from Wigan to Southport. There is a freeway route for that available. Which is quite interesting. So yeah, so rather than be on the main line, you just run from the other Wigan, which is, as we come through North Western, it's over to our right hand side. In fact, I think this could be the line here on the right hand side that you can see. And it's quite a nice run down to Southport. It's quite an old route, but it's pretty decent, quite enjoyable. There's Springs Branch there on the right. So that's just warning us that we need to be down to 80, so I'll just run it down slightly just to compensate for that. Drag the brakes slightly. Oh, nice. Trans-Pennine Express. Here's Wigan coming up as we go through Wigan North Western. So off to the right there as we go down to Wigan Walgate and then Southport. So Wigan North Western, which means we are full steam ahead, as it were, for Preston now. So once we get towards this, the 125 section, going to put the power back in. In fact, you know what? Let's start the power now because it takes a while for it to come up. There we go. Start to see the Northern trains, liveried trains now on this part. What a big hill, that. $13 to go. Let's have another look outside. I presume on this rail tour you can get some nice dining as well. I've not been, I don't think I've been on a West Coast rail tour, so I'm not really sure what you get as part of that. But I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's meals on board. That's a lot of what you're paying for as well, to have a meal served. And you're on the train a long time, so why not? Right, so we're coming towards Coppell, an area called Coppell, which is near Chorley. And we're literally a stone's throw now from Preston. So even though it's been sort of the total mileage, as I mentioned at the beginning, was going to be 76 miles, it seems to have gone fairly quick. I think it does when you're enjoying a route like this. I think you don't notice the time passing, and it's been very enjoyable. It always is when I ever run down here. I love it. It probably helps as well. We've only stopped at Crewe, so you know we've not, we've been mainline running all the way, just with that one stop since Stafford. So we get through it quite quick. And once we arrive at Preston, as I said, we can get you on your way up to Carlisle and over the beautiful West Coast Main Line over Shap. Right, we got less than 10. We've got a couple of small stations that we'll pass through. Exton being one of them. Then we got Leyland. And then Preston. Bit of a kick in the speed from the hill, which is quite nice. Help us on our way. So this is Exton, Balshaw Lane, over on the left hand side. Which I think is a pretty new station, that one. It's not been there that long. And very soon we'll start slowing down. Once we get to Leyland, we'll start slowing down for Preston. We'll run down the engine a little bit. Yeah, so this has been leg 10. I've just done it again, haven't I? Done it again. Another neutral section. This has been leg 10. Stafford to Preston. So, hope you've enjoyed the run. As I just wait for the power to come down again. There we go. So let's reapply. There we go. So yeah, leg 11, West Coast Mainline over Shat. Leg 12, it's me again, West Coast Mainline North. And then we got a couple around Glasgow before we start heading out towards the Highlands, which will be quite exciting. And this is Leyland Station. And of course over on the left hand side we got what was British Leyland, then Leyland DAF. I don't know what they're actually called now. I don't even know if it is the same business. But yeah, it's all those buses you used to see. They were British Leyland. They're all made over here on this left hand side. Way, way back. Big, big place in Leyland. So, we need to start preparing. We'll let it run down to 3 miles. Don't think we've got any more neutral sections now. And that is the line off on the right to Blackburn and the East Lancs. You can go that way to the East Lancs. So we'll start running down the engine a little bit. Now you see over on the left there, let's give these guys a toot. over on the left is if you're a TSW player and you've got Blackpool branches, that's where you head off to Ormskirk up there. So you'll be familiar where we are now. I'm going to run the engine all the way down. And start using a little bit of brake. We've got a 35 coming up quite soon. You'll see the skyline of Preston now coming in. Across the River Ribble underneath us right now. Let's get the brakes off. And now many of you will be familiar with Preston Station. Got a 150 there. Possibly going off to either Liverpool or to Ormskirk. And a 319 in on platform 2, which is quite nice. But this is platform 3, which is where we will be leaving it. So thank you once again everybody for joining me on this leg. Hope you've enjoyed it. Looking forward to seeing the rest. Hope you are too. Don't forget, check the playlist out for all the other parts, the parts you may have missed and the future parts coming up. And we'll just stop here and we'll get out. We'll let everybody else out. And that will be us. We made it to Preston. So thank you once again. Please do leave me a like, leave me a comment. Don't forget to subscribe. And I will see all you guys on the next one. So bye for now.